Hello everybody, Darren here, and welcome back to episode 15 of my Satisfactory Let's Play. Now in the last episode I was entirely focused on expanding our power supply before we eventually go out looking for oil. A little bit of a chicken and egg scenario there. The way I've chosen to do it is by building a large coal generator platform on the water. It's come together pretty nicely. I'm really happy with how it's looking, and it's almost done. So today, we're going to be wrapping up the generators and then putting the power to good use by building a large motor factory, the biggest factory I've ever built, producing a whopping 15 motors per minute. Doesn't sound like that much, but it's going to take like 100 machines or something and like 700 power. So for me, it's huge. Now, one of the first things I wanted to do, of course we have our to-do list on the right-hand side, pretty much just intact from the previous episode. One of the first things was some feedback on the previous one that someone pointed out that they noticed one of the elevators was a Mark 1 elevator when it needed to be a Mark 2. So that is now fixed and updated. So in between episodes, I've dragged out some power out here. I did a little bit of testing, actually, with the head lift of water, because there was other comments about how you get a free 10 meters of head lift from the extractors. That is true, so I've now moved the pump up higher and removed the one we had here. So we saved 4 megawatts of power by doing that. So that's all good. And then in here, we now have 240 coal coming in on a belt of 270, being split 3 ways into 80, 80, and 80. And then that gets split into 40, and then that gets split into 20 and 20. So this place is going to have an excess of coal. Coal generators only require 15. And we're going to be sending 20 up every single elevator. All of these hanging elevators are going to take 20 coal up to the top and get backed up. So we could create an overflow eventually, and that would split off 60, I think. So we could get more out of that. We could get 4 more coal generators. And I did initially, when I planned this place out, actually try to get 16 all sort of built on top of each other. It's just really difficult. You get less and less space the further up you go. Eventually, though, it evens out. And I just didn't want to go wider at the bottom. So I knew that that would be a limitation. But I also knew that oil is right around the corner, and this would be more than enough power for what we need. I've also hooked up a hypertube so we can get up the floors, although I've never powered it, so I'm not too sure how that's going to work. Or if we're going to hit that steel. That's my only fear, that's going to hit the steel walkway and not prevent me going up, because if you look at it, it just looks like the floor. So I'm not entirely sure about that. Anyways, let's hook these up. There was a really nice comment talking about how if we wanted to make this look really good, you could have a splitter here and split 3 ways into each one and do that 4 times over. But I couldn't make the rate of that work out, because splitting 3 at the end after you have 240 at the beginning, I couldn't work it out. I'm sure you could do it. I'm sure it's the same and you could do it. But I just kind of ran out of time, and I was like, look, I know it works this way, so I'll just do it this way. I'm sorry. But this is definitely a less pleasant view overall, but I don't think it really matters too much in a kind of this particular place. But if I get it worked out, or if people want to post the comments, I could always update it. I really don't mind. It was just a lot of planning goes into each of these episodes, and that one just came in right before I started recording, so I was like, I've already got it figured out my way, so I don't really have time to mess with it. And I quickly like split belts, and I was like, I don't get it. So this needs to be, which one? This one needs to be split one more time, because I just cut it away. It was a bit too close to here. So it just needs to come out this way and split like so. Now, something else that you'll notice me doing, and another point of feedback that I've picked up on, is... Oops. It's actually a perfect example of it right there, which is, why not, when you're making a belt, just press E to rotate between the different belts you have? Basically because I'm lazy, sort of. I don't know if lazy is the right word. It's basically because I end up doing this, and I've done it in this episode, or not this episode, in this series. I've actually known that you can do this. I think I mentioned it in episode 2 or 3 or something, because I had a merger, pressed E and could turn it to a splitter. That's probably the best use of it, especially early game. For me anyway, when it comes to belts and you're pressing E to switch between them, I don't know why, it's my problem, not the game's fault, but I'll often do this. Let's say I want a Mark II belt, I'll go like this. Something like that. I'll just mess it up. Now actually what I didn't even mean to do there is, you can hold E and bring up a radial wheel. What I actually meant to do is just go like this. You know what I mean? Like, I'll flick through it too many times, even though I know it's only 1 over. I don't know why I do that. I don't know. So it's just it's a me problem. I am aware of it, but I thought I'd bring it up anyway, just because other people who aren't such silly billies would probably find that useful if you didn't know how to do that. Alright, anyway, so let's just feed these in, get this place done. I'm in a bit of a hurry. I want to get to the motor factory. We spent a long time here in the last episode, and people don't mind. I like to always be progressing. I feel that, I don't know, pressure, I guess you could say. Just a pressure to always be showing some new content, doing something new, hopefully building nicely, and having new stuff to show all the time. And just feeling like we're not stuck on building a wall correctly for like 40 minutes. Anyway, is that it? I think that is logistics almost done. We just have to hook up this side now. This one should be a bit more straightforward. Some of the conveyor poles are here for us already. Okay. You can actually hear them turning on right now, and that's because I was doing that water test. So I think some of the coal generators, specifically on the floor above us, have water still inside them. So they might power themselves on and keep themselves on. But I don't think the water below is going to turn on, because I severed that connection. As part of the satisfaction, seeing it all for the first time. If I had known I needed to put down conveyor floor poles, I would have done that beforehand as well. Alright, 2 more to go, and that'll be it. Okay, and that is logistics done. So we'll just toggle that off. So another really common question I get is, how do you do the to-do list? I'm looking up at the ceiling, so we're looking over at the right-hand side of the screen, the to-do list. Press tab to open up your inventory. Hover your mouse over to the right of the screen until you get this black vignetting, this kind of blur on the side. Click the blur, and then you'll open up the to-do list. Inside of here, if you're wondering how to get this formatting, so that I have things colored orange or white or whatever, you just press over the question mark, hover over it, and it tells you how to format things. So that's how you do it. Very simple. Alright, so that's all set up for us. That is coal being fed in. So let's hook it up to power. So in between episodes, as well as testing the water and stuff, I tried to do some tedious things like lay out that area nicely. But I also added little power nodes, what are they called? Power outlets, all the way around the edges of every floor. And that way we can connect the floors hopefully a bit more nicely. So I've connected all of the water up to here. We just need to connect it to here and then hook these floors up together. So let's just run and do a bounce over this way. Lovely bounce. And I'm not sure where I can bring this in where it'll actually look nice. We maybe might be able to just connect it right in the center. So if we hover over this. Yeah. So I've committed to editing that wire by hovering over it. And when it glows red, then you're like editing it. Now the connection is automatically placed between those two. So now we'll just drag this out to here. It's fairly straight, I think, between them. So it doesn't look too bad. We need to now connect that one to the one below. And I have to get that hypertube working so I can stop running around the jungles like a crazy man. Alright. So let's connect it there. Can we make it? Oh my god. It's the Blade Runners. They're amazing! Alright. So. I think the elevator's slightly in the way. We could do that to connect the floor below, or we could do that one. Let's go with that one. So that's the bottom floor powered. The water is now turning on. And then we need to power the pump. That pump should get us pumping. So like I said, we've saved 4 megawatts of power by the person telling me that you get a free 10 meters of head lift from the water extractors, but it doesn't show on the UI, or at least I couldn't make it show. So when you're trying to place another pump, and you get this lovely like hologram thing, it tells you, you know, we saw it in the previous episode, it locked to here, saying like that's as high as you can go. But I know you don't get that with the first initial 10. So this one pump should pump all the way up to all these generators, no problem. Now it's not going to pump any higher than that, whoops, sorry. The other side obviously needed 2 to get to the top, and that's fine. That was expected. But, you know, shout out to the guy or girl that told me about the pump situation, saving a whopping 4 megawatts of power. No, make it sound trivial, but no, it's actually good. I want to be efficient and have a cleaner look to everything. So yeah, no, it's definitely good. And I feel like I may have mentioned something about that 10 head lift before, but I think it tripped me up because I just couldn't see it in the UI. Now maybe I'm mistaken with that as well, but I think that's the case. So, we need to get power over to... All the water is flowing, even on the other side. But we need to now also hook up power to the other pump. And sorry for the lag spikes. Like I said, this area, there's something about it. I must be on the cusp of like 2 biomes or 2 like chunks in the engine, as it were. And it keeps stuttering around here. But it doesn't when I'm out in other places. So yeah, another example actually right here. This is a perfect example. We can get rid of this one. Grab this one. So you think that by having an initial... Oh, well, I've just cut the pipe, so fair enough. Okay, cool. There we go. So we can see the pipe expanding. That means it's already getting that water. So the head lift is already going there. So let's just get rid of this one as well. It's even going to there. There's no way. That's way too high, surely. Because if we look at the height... this is a 4-meter wall. 4, 8... Excuse me, 12, 16. So the first 10 really shouldn't go much higher than about here or there. Really no more higher than there, I would assume. But I don't know how it's doing that. How could it possibly be doing that? I don't know. Well, anyway, let's just start putting down the pipe. I'm sure it's going to get like... It's not going to be enough, and it's going to be struggling and sputtering. So let's put this down. So we can see it going all the way up. And there's our head lift marker. Now, does that include the initial 10? I don't think so, right? That's just 20 from here. And remember, it's only vertical that's counted, not horizontal, so don't worry about that. It's only vertical. So that's 20 meters above. And we could check that by building the walls. You know, that looks about right. About 20 from when we start taking it vertical. So it doesn't seem to me to take into account the initial 10 you get from the machines. It doesn't count what's already on the network. And I think, if I could excuse myself, that's probably why I was thinking like we need a pump at the very bottom. But really, we could probably get away with having one just around here, as I do on the other side. Yeah, it's actually level with it. We can see that line coming off of it. You can click and then you can actually rotate it, which is nice. So I'll just, I don't know, rotate it maybe this way. We'll give that power. Get it pumping. Hopefully it'll pump no problem. Color it orange. And now we can have a look. So yeah, now we can see where it wants to connect. You see, on the 3 slanted pipes. But at the end of the day, we're just going to have to hook it up right up there anyway. So let's just make our way over there. Let's see if I can power on that hypertube and get up to the top a bit quicker now. And then we can start deleting all the framework for this place and doing the beauty. Ow. So you could drag this down and just hook it up, right? Is that alright? Suppose why not? Alright, let's hopefully I don't hit a wall. Alright, cool. I hit a ladder instead. Does this work? Oh, this one's not powered yet. Okay. So this row hasn't been powered on yet. Gotcha. So I'll have to hook that up downstairs. So we just need to grab one of these and drag it down somewhere that would make sense. Would that be okay? That should power everything on. Now, just before we get done, there's obviously the matter of the other pump. So we know that its max head lift is about there, so we'll just put a pump in here. The turn of the pipe is too sharp. Really. That's cool the way you can rotate it. I didn't really know you could do that. I guess we'll just keep it like this because keep the power thing up. Nice. Alright, there we go. We're pumping. A little earlier than we have to, but I'm not going to put 3 pumps on, obviously, so this should be fine for here and the other side. So that should be it. I think we're good to go. I'm not seeing smokestacks on the other side yet. It's probably just still getting its cold and everything. Before I get too ahead of myself, let's just go up and just make sure everything is working. And I gotta check, where's the... Yeah, this place actually, I don't think I've hooked up the power here yet either. So again, we have a little power thing there. We could just hook up that to the ground. And there we go. That should connect everything, I think. Whoops, sorry. It didn't jump really the way I expected him to. So, these are all hooked up. I'm seeing one red on the far side. It's actually this one here, I think. Oh, it's green now, so they are getting their stuff. And then we have this power coming out this way. Yeah, I'm basically fine with that. I suppose it'd be a bit nicer maybe if I could just tuck it here. It's a shame that there's no power to floor, if that makes sense. 'Cause there's power through walls, but not on the floor. I feel like we should have it on the floor. Maybe to keep things symmetrical, I'll just put it on both sides. And this way at least it just looks like, I don't know, a bit symmetrical, like it's got a plan behind it. Okay, I think that's basically it. So that should be power done. We'll check the network in a second. I guess we could just touch one of these chimneys. Well, that's not. That doesn't seem right. Y'all hooked up? You should be. Oh, sorry, I disconnected this as well. Okay, that's correct. That's correct. Was that the missing connection? How the hell was that it? These ones might not be hooked up to correctly either, I guess. Okay, I'll check the bottom floor then. Alright, so these ones are good. We're now producing 1650 power, but I think they were on for a while, so we'll just run downstairs. Let's just start trimming away at everything up here. All of that's gone now. It's like our scaffolding, I guess. Okay, so there's a power problem here. We're probably just not connecting it to the ground. That's probably all. So let's just see. That one's a... Okay, can we upgrade this to be a better one? Wall outlet Mark II. And there we go. That should be it. That's all of these. These are all hooked up with a Mark II power thing there. Oh no! Goddamn. It's not the easiest to get around. Although there is ladders on every floor in fairness, but it's also laggy. Boom, there we go. We connected it up. Now our production is 2100. Our capacity is 2380. Feeling good. Our consumption is 1200. So basically we've got 1000 megawatts free to build with. And I think I needed about 600 or 700 for what we're going to be doing. So let's just toggle off power. Let's do the beauty aspect now. It should be quick enough. I've got very loose ideas of how we can make it look a little bit better and just get rid of some of the things we don't need anymore. In fact, do we want to start? Yeah, we start from here. Right, so what I've unlocked in the... what's it called? The Awesome Shop. By the way, we've got loads of tickets. I sunk another container full of, what's it called? Automated wiring. It's probably only just gotten done now. So it just built up between episodes. We want small frames. So these are on the industrial beam section. And I thought they could go... So basically, actually, I guess we can hop down a floor. I thought, instead of having these just floating here, it'd be cool to put these beams right at the back of them. Let's go to Zoop mode, have them come down from the top. And from hopefully from a distance, that'll make the place look a little bit more interesting and cool. So it's kind of like the supports that the elevators use, you know? And also keep the floor up. And then we'll put the big ones down on the bottom. Alright, cool. So then we just need a couple more on the corners here. That corner has one already. Alright, that should be that floor done in terms of pillars. You could maybe put some in the center, but I don't think we need it. But maybe. Okay, let's get rid of this. This is gone. Let's just hop over here. Oh, you know what? I just realized something. This is where I planned on putting one of these things. I might get rid of that hypertube then. I'll have to think about where we can put a hypertube in the future, but it's in the way of definitely where the structural integrity of the building is coming from, for the overall project, so that can go. I wouldn't mind even if we just kept it at ladders. I don't really think I'm going to be visiting this place too often in terms of needing to come here. I want to start from the top down because it cuts through the floor, I've noticed. That looks a bit better. It does mean that we just need some sort of ladder to get us up there though, or at the very least you could hop over, but that is not ideal. So yeah, I don't know, let's just get a ladder on the side here. And this metal platform can all go away as well. Okay. Oh, are you kidding me? Also, I just realized maybe a little bridge that came over would make sense so that we could just walk over to this area instead of having to jump the water every time. So maybe I'll just do that real quickly. Let's go with a catwalk. We can start it over here. Just bring it straight out. Very simple. And maybe the ladder could just be right in front of the catwalk. That might make a bit more sense, so we're not running from side to side all the time. Is that weird? Right in the dead center of it? I think it's fine. There's something a bit weird about it, but you can just walk around it to go other places. So let's see. Right, and that's the logistics floor, and then if you want to go up, you've got the other floors, etc., etc. Alright, cool. So then the last thing to do would be to hook up the steel frames on the opposite side, and then we want to underclock our extractors so they're only doing 100 per minute, because they're doing 120 water per minute when we only need 100. But I feel like you get problems with that, so I'll probably give it a tiny little bit extra. It could just be the head lift that messes with me. Alright, and that is the project done. We'll have a look at it in a second. Let's just turn these down a bit. So let's go to, I'm literally just going to go to 101. So it's at 1 unit more than it needs. But these pipes can only take 300. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit silly doing this, but I feel like I tested it at 100 and then it wasn't enough to fill the things. Maybe now that it's already been, yeah, maybe now that it's already full. Let's just do 83.33333. I'm just so unsure of myself, but if it slows down, I guess we'll have the evidence. I shouldn't just speculate on things. We should test it, and then if it does what it does, then I don't have to justify explaining that. Alright, there we go. People also commented on it's really nice that it's next to the waterfall. It is kind of nice. Very peaceful. With our massive generators drowning out the noise now. Alright, 100. This is already actually backed up with water, I suppose, so there's no harm in it. This saves on power a little bit, so it's even more efficient. So what is it normally doing? 20 megawatts of power. Doing this reduces it to 14.9. 14.9 times, what is it, 6? 89.4. So it's about 90. Whereas 20 times 6 would have been 120. So we save about, 30. Something like that. And there we go. That's it. That's the project. Was it worth it? You guys have to let me know. But at least we built something kind of interesting. Instead of just a giant concrete box for once. So, just really quickly, another thing I'll do is I'll just make that overflow. Just so that we can see all the elevators constantly moving. I think that's kind of like part of the benefit of it, you know, part of the cool aspect to it. Or actually, what I'd rather do, I don't need the coal anywhere, I'm not going to use it. We could just underclock these. So we know that we needed, what is it? 240 minus 60, so we need 180. So minus 60, so this only needs to be 90. And this only needs to be 90, and that works out, right? It's 180. Now, that's totally temporary. It's just to make it look kind of nicer, maybe. To get things flowing a bit better. I might even just momentarily just cut this. Let it build up for a second. And then we can reattach. Just give it a head start. This is absolutely inspirational music right now. Yeah. See, the two are going to catch up. But when all of this sort of filters in, when we revisit this place in the future, we should see, once it starts balancing out, the elevators sort of always moving. That should be the case. But because we purposely kind of backed it up in the beginning, it's not going to do that for a while. I'd have to like basically grab every bit of excess that's in the network until it all empties out. And I'm not going to do that. That's kind of what you would need to do. Alrighty, there we go. That's the job done. So let's get in our little buggy. Let's go sort out the next thing. That's the beauty as well. Pretty happy with how it looks. We have our metal railing on every floor going around it. It is concrete in the center, but I think with the metal trim and all the metal beams, it certainly looks a lot better now as well. And we'll just take a little look at it as we drive away one last time in the distance. I'm looking forward to getting out of that laggy area though. It's so laggy. And I didn't miss any beams, did I? I don't think so. Alright, off we go. It's always tricky driving up here. I so close to almost had my buggy fall off the edge. Before I had to do like an Austin Powers 30-point turn. I love it. I know it's like my own thing, and I know other people do it better, but I love it. I do see one error though. I left a little bit of the hypertube right there. That's all good. I'll come back and get that. I'm trying to think, like, could it do with any... I don't mind adding loads of beams. Beams make it look really good. Yeah, I think actually... Well, there are beams on other sides, but I think one here going down to the middle would be good. So that the top floor is also supported on the middle floor, if that makes sense. And then the first floor... Yeah, so the first floor connects to the top floor already, so it is supported. It's just that I feel like it would have more beams. So I might add maybe 4 more beams in there, and that could really top it off. But yeah, they're not all smoking, which has me a little concerned. Although I do think it's just the ones closest to me are. That's probably the case, is it? Oh yeah, it's probably just the level of detail then, as we drive further and further away. Alright, enough of that. It was just such a long project. I thought we'd really want to soak it up, soak it in. So let's go. That power should give us everything we need now to make a motor factory. So I've got everything written down in front of me. By the way, people were also saying use the Satisfactory calculator website if you want to know how to make things. I like doing things in my notepad, but so I haven't actually checked the website, but from what I've heard from other creators, people say it's really good, and it just has all the machines and all the rates, so you can just plug everything in and just see how it'll all work out. I've noticed driving in here, the wheels go all weird, driving on asphalt. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe the Explorer's meant to be out on the ground, I don't know. So we're basically heading towards where the sulfur factory was. That's roughly where the motor factory is going to be. And people have mentioned, why don't you like bring everything into one giant warehouse? It's just a lot of effort. I'm sure at some point we will have to do that though. To a bit more of a collection point. Alrighty, so we'll just go to the sulfur factory first. That's where we're going to be starting from. And we're going to be harvesting all of these areas. And clearing out the trees and even clearing out rocks and things like that. Alright, so here we are, sulfur mine leading up. And then last time we were here we created that quick overflow area. Last time I was here, I built this. And I made 50 obelisks by just throwing in steel pipes and other things. What do we not need? Let's throw the steel pipes in here. Let's take the obelisks out. There they go. So we're going to need these obelisks to blow away a lot of the rocks and foliage where we're going. Because like I said, this is a big factory. Big factory. I got big plans. Big plans indeed. And one of the plans involves taking this coal and bringing it out and creating a new forge. Okay, so the only thing I really know about this, I haven't really experimented with this other than knowing the rates, is that I know that I roughly want this to be raised and then come out as a bridge. And it has to be a bridge of, well, it doesn't have to be, but I'd like to be a bridge of 2 starting there. Yeah. And then from here, I think it needs to come out like 20. And that's all the planning I've done. That's 10. Now, I've actually wondered this. Maybe you guys could answer that. What happens if you build so high that you're in the way of those creatures' flight path? Do they go through the building? Or do they go over it? Because you can obviously get up on top of these things and build even taller. Actually, there's boulders right there. We should just build all the way across. I might make a little mark, though, just to remember that this is where I need to stop. Power pole right there, just so I remember. So this one is fine, because that's where the iron is. Sulfur, and then there's copper, I think, over there, and there's more iron here. So all of this area is going to be a giant factory. At least that's the plan. Let's just go across. And rip open these boulders. It's just some sort of bug. It looks like a yellow bug. Do I have what I need? What the hell was that? I saw the other one there for a sec. Maybe one more. Right there. Alright. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill the bug. Oh, it left a boulder. Should we pick up the slug first? Nah. Boom. It's as easy as that. No time to waste. How much do we get out of him? 2. Alright, good. Alright, let's go back. I don't plan on doing anything up here, but maybe. At some point. There is another one over there, actually. Like, should we just get it? I suppose why not, while we're up here. So how many have I got? 7. We're actually going to need a few anyway, so it's a good idea to get these. Don't think I can get up there now. Alrighty, we're good to go. Let's get rid of this area. Okay, So, the coal is going to have to travel along here and then come down a kind of elevator thing. So let's just get that coal lined up and bring it over. And then we can build, I guess, pillars on the bottom as sort of like archways. So smart splitter, hold control they say. Holding control, building. Let's go with number 7 belt. Nothing's coming through right now. It's a smart splitter. Out the right, we will say any overflow. Oh, how weird. Nothing's coming out, but I held control. What is wrong? What could it be? Sick of it, guys. Every episode, hold control, look at the middle of the belt, blah blah blah. I don't trust it, okay? I'm never holding control again. Or did I do something else wrong and make myself look like an idiot? Possibly. No. Control just never works, that's why. Should make t-shirts that say hold control. Don't lose control, but it's CTRL. There we go. That's all overflow. So to work out the rates of what's actually coming here and try to remember it, let's just quickly look at the machines. I might just jot it down, although I think I've worked it out before. It should be fine. And obviously then certain things are getting backed up, but everything's going to an overflow. Things should just always keep getting made. So 240 comes out of that miner. And we can bring it up to 270 if we wanted to, obviously, as well. Actually, maybe we'll do that. Yeah, why not? We've got the power now. Power is no problem. So let's just throw one in there. Go to 270. Just to say we did it. Did it, Mom. 270. So if we have a look at our machines, there's 2 of these ones here. That's 25 and 25, so that's 50. And then this here, there's 60, right? Because there's 4 of those, they're each 15. So 60 and 50, so that's 110. So 270 minus 110, whoops, means we have 160 coal coming with us. 160 coal coming along here. Alright, that's all we need to know. Let's just hop down, and then we can start laying out our pillars on the bottom. Wow, that was quick. Man, that makes the nobelisks very fast. Oh, I guess I'll just leave that machine there. Now, I did something in between episodes. I jumped from a really high height. Oh my god. Into that car. And then when I got out, I was running, the game was running at like 8 FPS, and the car vanished. So, get this fucking thing off my car. Oh my god, he's actually slowing my car down. Is he damaging it? It's like caught in the wheels. Anyway. Oh, I'm out of fuel. Interesting. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so I did a big jump, didn't land in, or landed in the car, like before my feet touched the ground, and then when I drove quite a bit, and when I got out of the car vanished, and my game went down to 8 FPS, so don't know what that was about. That was really annoying, because I lost a little bit of progress from what I was testing. Alright, so here we are. So, in the back of this car, in the boot, or the trunk, if you're American, I've got silica and concrete, so we want to do some stuff with glass. People actually mentioned, another YouTuber, can't remember his name. I feel bad if I get it wrong, but it begins with S. It's not Stenarchi. I think that's another guy. His builds are amazing. It's a different one. People were telling me to go check him out for his efficiency guides or something like that. But they were saying that what he'll do is have a glass, like, kind of room that shows all your resources going up through an elevator or something. And it's so funny, because I swear I didn't see it, but in my test build of this factory, what I was thinking of doing is I'm going to have, like, floors of stuff, right? Like 50 constructors on a floor, basically. And it's all going to be making rods. And I thought it'd be cool if it fed down into a underfloor room. You know, it's like maybe 2 in height. a logistics floor, and then out some conveyor holes, we just bring them up. So then we could see them through windows. So I didn't know that he's done that already. I didn't think I was the first person in the world to think of it, but I just wanted to mention that when I do that, I'm probably still going to do that. I haven't taken his idea, but at the very least, you could say maybe I was inspired by it. Although I did kind of think of it on my own. I should look at how he's done it, though. Maybe I shouldn't. It'll probably color my impression too much and maybe change how I want to do it. People did say, actually, with the oil rig, they were like, oh, I've never really seen slanted pipes before like that. That was kind of a nice idea. So there you go. Feel good. Feels good, man. All right, anyway. We're a community. It's not all competition. Let's get rid of some of these ore deposits. Let's start concrete paving out this whole place. I'm going to get rid of... It's basically land clearance is what we're going to be doing straight off the bat. So let me just make a box, throw stuff into it. And just take kind of things that I need. So let's go with that. I'm going to need a lot of concrete. We've got some in the back of the car. And then we need our weapons and stuff, which I think I still have on me, do I? Yeah. Alright, yeah, cool. I was thinking... Alright, good. Yeah, let's get started. So we'll just hack away at this area down here first. Get rid of the ore deposits. I'll test it out. I wonder, do nobelisks blow these open? They should. I feel like they should. It would make a lot of sense if they did. Well, that sucks. Oh, I also realized that nobelisks will clear out those gas monster things. Those guys. Those plants that rise up when you move over to them. One of the first things I'll probably do is build the copper, actually thinking about it. But we want to just... Yeah, I guess actually we'll start with the copper area first. Which is down here. And there's one of those things here. Boop.
Breaking news from Earth. Widespread chaos and mayhem. World President urges all citizens to do their part and harvest alien artifacts.
World President. Oh no. Sorry, friend. Alright, so let's do some hazard clearing with some beautiful music in the background. The nice thing is we can plant a few of these and then get rid of all this. So I want to get rid of the rocks primarily. And it's quicker if I just drop them, I guess. So we'll just drop these kind of around this area. Maybe do about, I don't know, 6 or 7 and set them off. Alright, let's give that a go. Pretty good? Pretty good. Barely any rocks left. Some tucked in there, but that's okay. I'll do the same for over here. And then pave the crap out of it. The factory must grow. So the plans that I've got in mind for this whole thing, the copper section is going to be towards making the stators, right? Because you need wire and stuff for that. So to make motors, we could just show... I'll just show really quickly what I got in mind. I can't put that down actually right now. To make motors, we need 10 stators and 10 rotors. So with this build I have in mind, I'm basically planning on doing 32 rotors per minute, which I think is on 8 assemblers. Let me check. Yeah. 8 assemblers should be what gives us 32. And then for motors, it's just, or for stators, it's 6 assemblers are needed. So 6 assemblers for 30 stators. Those assemblers require 240 wire and 90 pipe. That's going to be 8 constructors, 4 smelters for all the ore. So that's the smaller bit of the factory we can do first. That was a very angry throw. Oops. Not really far enough. We've effectively got to do this before we start paving. So this should be the last bit though, I think. Alright, we can do one last one. Easy. It's a pretty big drop. Look at that stinky boy over there. That's what I thought. Alright. Keep your farts to yourselves. Can we attach one to these guys? Oh no. Okay. His friend ran off. Oh, there he is. I know what you're thinking. I'm not going to do it. I'm not cruel. Alright, let's put down a lookout tower and we can start building. I have to go to my container box and just pick up my stuff again now. And then we can get to work on the copper first and then figure out how this is all going to go. So I know that I need like 50 constructors, so it would be cool to keep them all on the same floor, but we just need to put down so much concrete. It's ridiculous at the beginning here. Alright. Concrete it is. Sorry, I was a little taken off guard by what the hell that noise was. I don't think I've ever heard them before. It's just a bit too far out. Right, let's just pave, pave, pave. It's all going to attach to each other anyway, eventually. So the problem is, obviously, around this area then, the floor will start to rise, or the ground will start to rise. So then we need to, I guess, build taller. And ultimately, probably build up to the height of these things over there. So I guess I'll just drag out a concrete block over from the iron. So what's going to happen here is coal's going to merge with iron. The iron, that's going to go into 3 steel forges. Just 3, or foundries. Those are going to make the steel pipes. They're going to merge with the copper. To hopefully make the stators. Stators are easy. It's getting the 32 rotors per minute, which requires all of the screws and the iron rods. So that's the one that's really the business. As nice as that tree look. Actually, we might be able to keep that one. Okay, good. So yeah, that's actually pretty good. We can see just like roughly where this height is going to have to be, about here. And then how much can we get away with? How much does it have to be raised? And how much can it fall down? And how are we going to connect everything into one? The problem also here is I've noticed that this comes out of it. So you can't use the entire full floor space. You probably have to start it. And then there's also limestone here. So yeah, the layout of this place is going to be the trickiest. Because then also, I'm just going to have to kind of wing it. Also on this side, there's 2 iron deposits that we're going to feed up to here and combine up with all this iron. But there's so much iron and my belts are so limited, I can't put them all onto one. So it's a logistical issue. Can we start doing the miners though? I'm lacking modular frames and steel pipes. Really? Really? Is there any left in my box? Maybe. Yes. Good. No modular frames though, actually. We'd have to get driving and get them. So I guess I'll have to leave the miners for a while. I'll have to pick that stuff up myself because I don't have what I need for them. Yeah, I threw my modular frames into the steel factory to make versatile framework, so just have to leave that. But ultimately, I'm just going to keep paving. So yeah, let's just raise it up about here. Why not? I know it's quite high, but it kind of needs to be. And then this can come all the way over. Even this isn't high enough. Probably needs another floor. Can't afford. Oh yeah, there's tons of concrete in the back of the car. By the way, this reminds me of all the things people tell me in the comments. There's one thing no one's told me that I found out yesterday. And it's one of the most obvious things in the game. And I can't believe no one said it, especially in the last episode. And that is that you have a flashlight. And I didn't know that. I built almost the entire thing in the dark in the last episode. And then I brightened it up in the edit. So that everyone could see. And what I used to do in Satisfactory before they added... Now, I think there may have always been a flashlight. I don't know. You press B, by the way, to use it. Before there was lights in the game proper, what I used to do was I'd leave a tractor in front of things. I'd have like 3 or 4 tractors at night in front of machines so I could light an area up while I was building. In a building, you know? And that's how I used to build. And it just reminded me there, passing that one, that, oh yeah, I've got this. I only discovered this in between episodes when I got out of the Explorer and I pressed B either by accident or because I was trying to turn on and off the headlights in the car, because it tells you when you get in. And I was like, holy crap, I've got my own flashlight, and then in the bottom right of the UI I can see it's right there. It told me the whole time. 2 across. Would that do it? That brings us the whole way. So what's the gap from here to there? 4? 8? That's pretty good. It's an even 2 walls, I think. Okay, so this needs to be 2 higher than there. Big paving. Big paving. You'll never see the ground here again. Alright, cool. I feel like I may have even had this flashlight on in previous episodes, but when I saw it I was like, what the hell? I had no idea. I feel like I'm torn. Some part of me thinks like, I must have had it on before, surely. And then another part of me thinks like, I feel like I even said, why isn't there a flashlight in the game? Or at least I might have thought that to myself. Because I remember pressing like F and I was like, oh, it's not F. And T and stuff, things that it'd normally be in other games. Alright, let's check it out. How much have we got now? That's a lot of floor space to work with. We need more. 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 And then you thought that oil rig thing was a heavy building situation. This one's going to be mental. Because there's so much that needs to go into it. And figuring it all out and trying to make it also look somewhat decent. Oh my days. That might be as far as we go. Maybe. And then we could block it out this way. Suppose we'd almost have to block it from here. So that'll be the next floor up. Okay. So let's get our obelisks out again. We'll just break away this area. Surprisingly effective. Nice. Okay, cool. And then just bring that out. I don't know if we'll ever need to go much further than that. I feel like we need to go up, and it's going to go tall, and it's going to go back as well. So, let's see. Do we have time to rush over? I think, yeah, I'll just drive over real quick, pick up the modular frames, and we can start laying out the basics of the smelter factory. Because I at least know that, like, pretty straightforward, that one. And then the bigger, it kind of connects to the bigger one then. Alright, good. Hey, it didn't get rid of it. I need the chainsaw. Do I not have a chainsaw on me? Where is it? Huh. Alright, this has been a heavy landscaping episode, I guess. Kind of didn't expect it. I thought this would be a bit quicker, but I suppose I've been sidetracked and dilly-dallying for so long. But yeah, it's coming together. Once obviously the floor is down, then we have to build consecutive floors. And I'm planning on breaking it up, like I said. Breaking it up with logistical floors in between. So having all of our machines on one floor, then a second floor of like logistics, then a third floor of like more machines, and then keep doing that. And the logistics floors can be one height smaller than the others, one wall height smaller. And then in those we can hide away all of our splitters and belts and things, or a lot of them. And then maybe if I can get it to look good, we can bring things up through glass walls, which is what I thought would be cool. Now, I don't have lights or anything unlocked, although I do think the awesome sink has a bunch of tickets lying in it for me. Now, I printed a bunch of tickets and left them somewhere, didn't I? No power. Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't power it on. I'll have to just check that myself later. But yeah, people were saying like, oh, if you want to save your tickets, just put them back on the awesome sink. It'll just store them for you, as long as you've got one available. Now I hope I didn't somehow delete them. I'll have to just check other episodes to see if I spent the ones I had, or if I left them. I probably left them up at base, I'm sure. Alright, I'm gonna have to do some inventory sorting and deleting some stuff, but that is going to be basically it, I think, for this episode. I'm going to run over, get those modular frames, do a last little bit of landscaping here, and then kind of maybe pave the rest of this area. So hopefully people won't mind, but yeah, just pave the rest of this area, and then we can start feeding down resources, combining everything up, and start building the motor factory. So that's going to be it. A bit of a weird episode, just finishing off that coal power, and then kind of moving out here, doing some landscaping, and explaining what I'm going to be doing, I guess. But yeah, I'll try to get actually more done in the next one. Now that we have our multiple floors laid out, it's going to be pretty straightforward to work from foundation-wise, how many things we can put down on each floor and everything like that. So that's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey guys, thank you very much for watching, and remember, if you want to support the channel directly, you can click the join button to become a channel member. Doing so will get your name in the credits, as well as loyalty badges and emotes to use in the comments. You'll also get exclusive access to my Discord, where there's dedicated channels for each series I'm doing, and it's a great place just to meet others and make some friends.